These videos are not here to tell you how to listen to songs or how to interpret music in general. They're just my thoughts and opinions on music based on what I've learned over the years and my own experiences. I don't expect you to think of me as right or sole authority on these things. It's just another perspective that I hope you find interesting. So, the things we see at night. I'm going to change things up a little bit, I think, this time, and talk about the music stuff first rather than the sort of concept behind the song. There were a few different things that I wanted to accomplish when I first wrote this song musically. Anyone who knows me and my taste in music knows that I'm really into progressive rock, and I love big, long songs that have really interesting chord progressions and cool riffs and stuff. Something that people may not know about me also is that when I took a semester of piano lessons in college, I discovered that I really enjoyed playing a lot simpler stuff, simpler bluesy, jazzy stuff where I could just sort of noodle around on the piano over the chords, and it's a lot of fun, and I think there's a lot of merit to a bunch of different styles of songwriting. It doesn't have to, and don't even have to split it into complex or simple, but there's such a wide range of ways to write that I really, over the years, have tried to stay open to whatever ideas other people might have and ideas that my own brain comes up with, and try not to discourage myself from working on something if I think it's either too simple or too complex or too highbrow or too lowbrow or whatever. Just if it's something I feel compelled to write about, then I'll write about it. So with this song, speaking to the whole sort of, not necessarily simpler, but the bluesier, jazzier side of things, I definitely had that in mind when I was coming up with the arrangement specifically. The bass riff that opens the song on the album, and I play on the guitar in the acoustic performance video. That was the first piece of music I came up with for the song, and that I actually came up with in the middle of the night. And it actually had the parts of the melody that you hear me sing in the acoustic performance close to the end of the video, and you hear the piano play in the studio version. That melody was part of that riff, and then I sort of separated it from the bass riff that opens the song just to keep the bass more focused on the root notes, the overall feel of the chords. And then another thing I wanted to do musically was see if I could write a song that just had a single chord progression that repeated and played throughout the entire song, because plenty of people do that. Me, I get bored easily, so a lot of my songs do have a lot of different chord progressions between verses and choruses, bridge sections. But with this one, I really wanted to see if I could just keep that same chord progression going through the entire song and still have it feel like a complete song to me. Speaking to the lyrics now, I was driving home from Lee Terrace band practice one night actually, and it was raining, not heavily, but enough that you could see it, obviously, and just driving down a road that I've driven tons of times before. I see a lamppost. Anyone who listens to A Matter of Taste, the podcast that I co-host, knows that I have a thing about lighting, and just seeing the lamppost with the rain falling in front of it, just the atmosphere and mood that image set sort of created that opening stanza. And that was another thing that I was trying to challenge myself with, since I have in the past had a tendency to write really abstractly rather than concretely. I wanted to try and get as much concrete imagery into this song as possible, so that it's not just sort of like, oh, I'm talking about love or life or just these big concepts without anything to really, for the brain to really latch onto in a concrete way. The song, in a more holistic sense, started off being about a couple of people meeting in the night, sharing something, and then originally it ended with separation, which is, I don't think, like, I'll talk a little bit more about where I think the song ends up now later, but it originally ended with, like, the speaker saying, well, if we've had this stuff together now, why can't we carry it on into the daytime or whatever? And it wasn't really sitting right with me. It didn't emotionally resonate with me. And so, as often happens with my writing, I find that the solution comes from actually going with the opposite. So what that last stanza, instead of it being about that separation between the speaker and whoever they're talking to, it became about, oh, we really do have a connection here that I've sort of been afraid to explore, and it scares me, but it's something that I know is worth holding on to, so let's hold on to it as long as we can. And then there is sort of in the very last stanza, that sense of separation, the things we see at night don't last beyond the dawn. But I felt like the stanzas leading up to that resonated more with me, this idea of finding someone that really you connect with on a level that you haven't connected before. And it doesn't even have to be on a romantic level. It could just be, whoa, you're really into this type of movie? I am too. Thank goodness I'm not the only one. I felt this a lot first semester of college, and that was one of the things I sort of was thinking about when I wrote this song was times over my freshman year of college when I was meeting new people. For the first time being in the community of other writers. I was a creative writing major, and I had known like one or two other writers in high school, but we didn't have any creative writing programs at my high school. The arts weren't something that was really well funded or supported in my high school when I was there. It started to get better towards the end of it in our drama program and stuff, but it still wasn't until college where I was surrounded by people who thought about writing in an artistic way, and more than just like, oh, that's something I do as a hobby. It was something that we all wanted to do with our lives. And a lot of those deeper conversations I had with people in college happened in the middle of the night, from the hours of midnight to 3 a.m, when most other people had gone to bed, and it was just a few people hanging out, and we just talked. And it didn't even matter, it wasn't even always about like really important stuff. It was just nice to be around people that I enjoyed talking to and who I connected with in a way that I hadn't connected with other people before. And I think that's about all I have to say about this song for now. Thank you so much for watching and listening. If you've been watching all the videos, and thank you so much. If you haven't, there are a bunch of acoustic performance videos and other songwriter videos to watch. This Tuesday, November 15th, is the digital release of Stepping Stones. I'm really excited for people to hear it. It will be available on iandoherty.bandcamp.com. You'll see a link down in the description. You'll be able to stream the album from there, listen to it there, and I hope that if you listen to it and you enjoy it, you'll consider purchasing it. Music is what I want to do with my life. I'm really proud of how this album turned out, and I really hope that everyone enjoys it. So if you like it, please spread it around, let your friends know, let your family know, let your friends' family know. Thank you in advance for showing your support. On Tuesday, to celebrate the release, instead of putting up a performance video, I'm going to be putting up a video I put together from footage I filmed at the studio a few months back when I was recording vocals, a sort of day in the life type thing. It'll have previews of other songs on the album, some behind the scenes sort of stuff of the recording process and the editing process. And then the performance videos will resume with an acoustic performance of Trespasser the following Tuesday. Once again, thank you for listening. If you like what you've heard, please like the video, subscribe, share it with people. Thank you so much.
Spoken quiet tones shroud of night.